Chaos at the airport. Sasaeng caught hiding among fans to stalk Jungkook upon arrival. What began as an anticipated and low-key arrival turned into a disturbing security breach that now has both American and Korean fans reeling in disbelief. Jungkook of BTS, one of the world's most high-profile and heavily protected idols, was met with unexpected chaos the moment he stepped into the arrival hall at a major U.S. airport. And this time, it wasn't just about noise or crowd control. It was about someone getting way too close. Reports confirm that a Sasaeng fan, the term used in Korea for obsessive and invasive fans who violate idols' privacy, successfully infiltrated the secured arrival area by disguising herself as part of the official welcoming crowd of armies. Authorities stated the woman had forged a press badge and blended in with the fanbase already gathering at the arrival gate. What she planned to do next remains under investigation, but it's clear her intent was to get physically close to Jungkook. The confrontation was thankfully stopped before it escalated further. She was tackled and detained by private security after being caught on camera slowly inching forward past the barricade, clutching a phone attached to a disguised body rig. The moment was brief, but dangerous, and for a split second, Jungkook froze, not in performance mode, not with the strength and charisma fans are used to, but in fear, real, visible, paralyzing fear. According to witnesses, his expression changed instantly from calm to stunned as he clocked the woman's approach, too late for comfort. The security team moved in, but the damage had already been done. And now the question on everyone's lips is, how could this happen? How did an unauthorized stalker manage to get so close in a country known for stricter airport protocols? The breach has reignited long-standing concerns about Sasaeng culture and the inadequacies of both South Korean and global event security when it comes to managing high-profile celebrity arrivals. While some fans are blaming lax American protocols, others are questioning whether HYB underestimated the risk of Jungkook traveling without immediate emotional support, particularly from his bandmates or trusted longtime security personnel. This terrifying moment mirrors a similar incident reported on May 24, 2025, when unauthorized photographs of Jungkook at Gimpo Airport sparked widespread outrage on Korean social media. The images, snapped without consent and circulated rapidly, triggered debates about legal versus ethical use of celebrity images and the blurred line between fan culture and violation. Under South Korean law, the copyright of a photo belongs to the photographer, not the subject, creating murky legal protection for idols against this kind of exposure. This means even unwanted, intrusive photos can legally be shared, further complicating efforts to protect Jungkook and other stars from harassment. A look back at BTS member Kim Taehyung's 2023 stalking case, where a Sasaeng was caught waiting near his apartment after tracking him using leaked flight data, only adds to the worry. It's no longer rare for obsessive fans to have access to flight trackers, private car routes, and even hotel check-ins. With technology becoming more advanced and social media spreading information faster than ever, being an idol in 2025 means being traceable 24/7 unless measures are taken to isolate and protect them. What exactly is fueling this growing trend of Sasaeng activity? Experts point to the competitive nature of modern fandoms, particularly in South Korea. Here, fans often feel immense pressure to be seen as the closest to their idol, leading some to cross boundaries that were once unthinkable. For some Sasaengs, it's no longer about admiration. It's about ownership. They don't want to support the idol, they want to possess them. Unfortunately, agencies like HYB are walking a tightrope. On one hand, they must maintain the accessibility and public engagement that make idols globally successful. On the other, they are now facing calls from both experts and fans to radically overhaul security measures, even if it means limiting access. Following a wave of privacy violations in early 2025, new event planning guidelines were issued in January that specifically emphasized the need for respectful distance and clear boundaries at all fan events. But fans are now asking, were those guidelines even implemented in Jungkook's case? Or were they ignored entirely in the rush to accommodate media, fans, and logistics? Because one thing is certain now, someone failed, and that failure led to a moment that could have been far worse. Luckily, Jungkook was unharmed. But emotionally, those seconds of fear linger. Insiders say that since the incident, Jungkook has barely spoken, is being kept under restricted access, and is undergoing private psychological care, raising serious alarm about the trauma he's quietly carrying. Will this change anything? Will HYB take drastic measures going forward? Or will it take a deeper tragedy before real boundaries are respected? For now, the fandom is watching, angry, terrified, protective, and united in one cry: protect Jungkook. At any cost. Jimin Arrives, the silent reunion that left everyone in tears. He didn't say a word. He didn't need to. When Jimin finally landed in America, almost a full 48 hours after the chaos surrounding Jungkook's airport arrival and the Sasaeng infiltration that sent shockwaves through global media, the silence of the reunion spoke volumes louder than any press release ever could. N.O. airport screams, N.O. fan chants, N.O. blinding camera flashes. Just two brothers, standing across from each other in a secure hallway behind layers of reinforced doors, security personnel, and thick emotional walls. And then it happened. Jungkook broke down. This wasn't the tearful stage moment fans are used to. It wasn't the kind of emotional cry that ends in a smile. It was something darker, something heavier, something that had been boiling beneath the surface for far too long. When Jimin walked in, his face was pale, drawn tight, and his eyes swollen, not just from jet lag, but from sleepless nights filled with worry. He had reportedly taken a red-eye flight the moment he was granted clearance by HYB and US management to travel. The moment he stepped into that room, everything Jungkook had been holding back finally collapsed. According to eyewitnesses within the management circle, Jungkook froze upon seeing him. His body trembled. And then he rushed into Jimin's arms, not as a performer, not as an idol, but as a scared younger brother needing a place to fall apart, and Jimin held him.
No cameras.
No words. Just the sound of two hearts beating rapidly through layers of pain, relief, and unanswered questions. Because at that point, the world already knew too much. They knew Jungkook was emotionally unprepared for the whirlwind of security protocols, media pressure, and the terrifying stalker encounter that unfolded during his American arrival. They knew HYB had come under fire for allegedly prioritizing schedules over safety. They knew Sasaeng culture was no longer a niche concern but a national threat, so pressing that even the South Korean government had proposed to make Jungkook's case a public legal example. But what the world hadn't seen, until now, was what it looked like when even the strongest among us finally reached their breaking point. And that breaking point was heartbreakingly human. For years, Jungkook had been the golden magne, the flawless, powerful, charismatic younger brother of BTS who could sing, dance, and conquer the world. But in that sterile hallway behind guarded doors, he was simply Jungkook, a man overwhelmed, vulnerable, and exhausted. And Jimin, he was no longer just a bandmate. He was a lifeline. According to insiders, Jimin had been the most vocal member behind the scenes ever since the Sasaeng incident first broke. While HYB scrambled to control PR narratives and government officials demanded court appearances, Jimin's singular concern had always been Jungkook's mental well-being. In a live stream recorded days before his departure, Jimin told fans with glassy eyes, "Akugak tenong. I can't sleep knowing he's alone. I don't care about schedules. I care about him." That live stream is now trending across multiple countries, with hashtags like #ProtectJungkook, #JiminToTheRescue, and #BTSBrotherhood dominating global platforms. But the question that everyone's asking now is, what happens next? HYB, now caught between fan fury, public concern, and growing political involvement, is reportedly reevaluating its security structure entirely. Talks are in motion to provide full-time mental health professionals to accompany BTS members on international schedules. Meanwhile, South Korean lawmakers are accelerating efforts to draft the Artist Protection Bill, which would implement new legal consequences for stalking, unauthorized photography, and data trafficking involving public figures. And Jungkook, he's scheduled to appear at an open court session via private testimony, though fans are still urging officials to allow him to give it remotely, citing the trauma he's endured and the emotional toll the case has taken. But for now, the world can breathe just a little easier, knowing that Jimin is by his side, Photos have emerged of the pair leaving the building together, Jimin's arm gently placed around Jungkook's back as they exited into a secured vehicle, flanked by silent guards and tinted windows. Fans who caught a glimpse through the gaps in the crowd said Jungkook's head remained low, but Jimin looked directly at them and gave a soft, weary nod, as if to say, "He's safe now. I've got him." No interviews, no statements, just presence. And perhaps that's all Jungkook ever needed. But this story is far from over, because behind the tears and reunions lie bigger questions that no one can ignore anymore. Why are idols expected to carry trauma in silence? Why are agencies reactive instead of proactive when it comes to safety? And, most importantly, how many more breakdowns must idols suffer before systemic change finally happens? One thing is certain. This isn't just about Jungkook. This is about every idol who has ever felt hunted in their own fame, and every fan who has ever wondered, am I part of the love or the problem?